Greetings, everyone. 2K Sports brings you the NBA. This is Kevin Harlan. I'm joined by Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr as we get set to bring you all the action. We've got a chance now for our starting lineups from point guard to center. This game should be a good one. First, for the Heat, Chalmers and D. Wade are the guards. And playing at the 5, the always versatile 6'11" star big man, able to score inside and out, Chris Bosh. And it's LeBron James, and it's Haslam in at the power forward. And then for the Indiana Pacers, George Hill at the 1, Paul George at the 2, and starting 7'2", one of the true giants in the game, another great big man out of Georgetown, Roy Hibbert. Then there's Danny Granger, and it's West in at the 4 spot.
You know, Heat head coach Erik Spoelstra worked his way up from the very bottom in that organization. I mean, he got his start as a video coordinator, and through years of hard work and dedication has really become an outstanding coach.
It'll be the Heat off the tip. LeBron against Granger. LeBron kicks to Chalmers. Out of bounds, Indiana takes possession. And back to coach Erik Spoelstra as a guy who got his start as a video coordinator, picking the game apart. Steve, he's very comfortable with the new advanced stat movement, analytics in the NBA.
Yeah, and I've had a chance to speak with him quite a bit. He says that the way they use advanced stats is just as a conversation piece in the coaching room. Their analytics department will bring them various information, and it will force them to ask questions, which is very healthy for a coaching staff to do.
Well, you look at Paul George, my man, PG 24, a young swingman out of Fresno State. Boy, he had a terrific year last season, was the most improved player last season, and a first-time NBA All-Star. You consider how young he is, just turned 23, and he's got the potential to make plenty more All-Star games, and I think he could ultimately be a defensive player of the year at some time in his career.
Now, here is Hill after LeBron James's miss. Chalmers against Hill. Now, here is George. He's covered closely. Clock at 4. Tries it from 19. A nice shot by Granger. Granger's got his first points in this one. And for Paul George, the 10th pick back in 2010, what a terrific find for the Pacers.
Well, he was already a good player, but I think the injury to Danny Granger last season created the opportunity for George to really emerge as an all-star. And that's exactly what he did. Dangerous inside and out, excellent defensive player, has a chance to be really special.
Now the Pacers moving it up. Hill leading the charge, and the stuff by West.
That's a few more points onto their lead with the Tomahawk.
That's bringing it down hard. Bringing it down hard. Clark, they've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a little bit of cottonmouth here. Dry spell for sure.
Chalmers dishes to Wade. And the pass to LeBron. LeBron left side. And the shot is good.
Offensively, he can be the engine that drives them at any given time.
We've got 13 seconds left in the first quarter. It's George on the wing. 1 second left. Got it to go with no time left on the clock.
You talk about stepping up at a big moment. That is some fortitude, folks.
I should say.
The awareness, the release, everything was just perfect.
All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment.
Well, guys, for the Pacers, it's been a slow and long climb from the Malice at the Palace back in '04. But now, with a terrific young team fresh off a strong showing in the Eastern Conference Finals, we can finally say the Pacers are back, and they're going to be around for a while contending for championships.
Let's check out what Doris Burke has for us.
Well, gentlemen, head coach Erik Spoelstra of the Miami Heat finally getting the respect he deserves now with their multiple championships. But his players, not afraid to rib him a little. Dwayne Wade said Spoelstra's favorite word, focus. He said, here's what it sounds like to play for my coach. Come on, guys, we have to focus. Next game. Come on, guys, it's about focus. Game 82. Guys, it's about focus. Kevin, it's all about that consistent message, right?
A steady hand, Doris. The players seem to really appreciate him.
Talk about putting something extra on it. That dunk was way over the top.
Close game or not, Clark, he's going to finish firm when he gets the space.
Still, I mean, it's startling that he'd even try that right now.
And for the Pacers, ever since that unfortunate night in Detroit, the attendance in Indiana has sagged. They've been at the bottom half percentage-wise, Steve, for the last 9 years.
Well, it's time for the fans to come back, Kevin. This is an elite team. They've got really high character, good guys. Ticket prices are about 60% less than the league norm. One of the best arenas in the NBA, and hey, it's Indiana. I mean, this is a basketball state.
And that one's good by LeBron.
He didn't get off to much of a start early on, but he seems to have shaken off the rust here in the quarter.
Just about a minute and a half has gone by here in the second. The dish to Stevenson. That's short off the rim. And out of bounds as the Pacers gain possession. Some changes for Indiana. Chris Copeland comes in for Lance Stevenson. And it's Watson in for George Hill. For Indiana, they've gone 0-3 and are still looking for that first bucket here in the second quarter. Outside, George. Shot clock at 5. Elbow shot. Connects. The jumper drops. George has got 5 points so far.
Sometimes folks forget about his decent mid-range jumper. He can knock those down all game given a chance.
And the first half ends in a close one. Pacers lead by 2. The Sprint Halftime Show with Damon Bruce is coming up next. Then it'll be on to the third quarter. We'll see you then.
Now, presented by Sprint.
Halftime in the Hoosier State in a close one. Welcome, fans. I'm Damon Bruce. The Pacers living up to their team moniker tonight, setting the pace in this one. They've imposed their will at both ends of the floor, a command performance. Some great work out there by Paul George. He's been a man on a mission, and his team is just letting him take over. Look at what he dropped in the first half. Also, Miami looking good in the first half. They're putting on a clinic offensively, and they're really starting to click. The leading scorer, LeBron James. Also getting into the mix, Ray Allen. Now let's head back out to the start of the second half. Kevin Harlan, Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke, take it away.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
We have a close ball game on our hands as we get set for the second half of basketball.
The Heat have magnificent talent, but even coming off an NBA title, they had never put their name into the conversation of the great teams until last spring when they went on that amazing 27-game winning streak.
Now, here is Hill. He's been patient so far, nothing yet on the scoreboard.
D there, guys, was pretty much non-existent. I mean, you can't leave a good shooter like that open.
LeBron against Granger. Outside Bosch. Kicks it to Chalmers. From deep three-point range, David West grabs the miss. And for the Heat, they were staring right at the 72 Lakers win record, and I'm sure everyone remembers, but ultimately they would fall, Steve, to the Bulls after 27 consecutive wins.
Yeah, that streak to me was one of the great feats in NBA history. Winning 27 games in a row in the regular season, so difficult, but it showed you what the Heat were made of. They really were battling every night, and I thought that put them on a great run heading into the playoffs.
Well, I'm impressed with the determination he showed right there, getting himself in a good position under the glass. Did his work early there.
Yeah, with the presence of mind, know just where the rebound was going to go to.
And then the nifty touch to tip it in. That was beautiful.
And it's Granger penetrating. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
Well, Danny Granger played only portions of 5 games last season, guys, and basically was trying to overcome a torn patella tendon in his left knee. Had to be terribly frustrating for him.
And a long road back for Danny Granger.
Yeah, I know the frustration dealing with a lot of knee issues of my own in my career. It's difficult when you have to face that year after year. Hopefully Granger will be able to come back and maintain that, or regain, I should say, that all-star form that he once showed. He could be a huge addition to this Pacer team.
A team right on the cusp on this. George with the ball. Wade picks him up. About 3 seconds between shot and game clock. And the basket by Hill. Here's Wade. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. Gets it to go from 8 feet. Now here is Hill. And that's going to do it for the third quarter. It's the Pacers up by 5. And we're coming right back. Be sure to stay with us as we get started for the fourth quarter. And we're set to start the action up here in the fourth quarter. And if it's anything like the first 3, we should be in for a treat. The Heat trail by 5. Wade with it. Has him a screen. Wade gets a screen from Hazard. Wade passes to Bosch. 5 on the clock. And it's Wade penetrating. The shot is off. So the Pacers will take it the other way. LeBron against George. Stevenson. Pass to Hill. Dishes it to West. Lays it up and banks it in. West has got the first basket as we get going in the fourth for Indiana. And Miami is shooting a lackluster 38% for the game, struggling so far. Wade gets a screen from Hazard. Wade gets the bucket.
That's just a case of 2 teammates working perfectly together. One setting the screen and the other using it to get that separation.
Now here is Hill. Back to George. Right side George. Indiana needs to get a shot off. And here's Hill for 3. And Indiana, another 3.
Well, that just adds to what's probably an already insurmountable lead. I think they'll be walking out of here with a pretty easy victory.
Steve, I think that's a given.
Stolen by Chalmers. About 7 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. LeBron kicks to Wade. And out of bounds as the Pacers gain possession.
That's a major mental mistake. I mean, there's no other way for me to describe it. He didn't know where he was on the court. That's a basic fundamental. You have to be alert to where you are.
And Miami making a change here. Chris Anderson is checked in for Bosch. Pattier comes in for LeBron. Ray Allen, he's checked in for Dwayne Wade. And it's Norris Cole in for Mario Chalmers. And that's good as he hits both of his shots.
And you got to think those free throws are the nail in the coffin, guys.
For Miami, they've gone 1 of 3 from the field to start the fourth quarter. Allen dishes to Battier. Allen, guarded by Scola, gets it to go. And we're around 2 minutes into the fourth quarter here. Watson, that's for 2. No good. So it's Indiana picking up the win. They came, they saw, they conquered.
Hey, Kevin, to me, any win is a good win.
And that'll do it for Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke. This is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. And now we present the Jordan Player of the Game, George Hill.